Hello, hello, hello. It's Caroline Chapman. When I think back on that time in Atlantis when the earth was breaking up, frankly, I'm terrified. The weird thing is, in the memory, I'm not terrified. I'm standing there. I see this huge boulder coming at me. I mean, it's as big as a building, and the closer it gets, the bigger it gets. I have a young son with me. I'm wearing clothes that are long and flowing, and I'm standing on the steps of a temple. There are columns beside me, and there's an overhang like a porch. I'm standing there and I'm looking out at this scene where there's been other boulders that have hit, and they've been so huge that they destroyed everything there, and there's only dirt left now. So I'm sort of stunned and I'm looking at all this. There's some people sort of wandering around looking for stuff, just basically in shock. And I myself, I guess I'm in shock because I'm looking at it. My son is beside me. Oh, and the temple that I'm standing on, part of it is missing, as if it has been destroyed also, this part that's missing. So the weird thing is, I see this huge brown thing, sort of irregular shape coming at me, and that's it. I don't experience dying. I just see it getting closer and closer. And then I pull out of my body. I'm a light being, and I pull out of the body that I was in. Now, the weird thing is, you might say, well, that could just be a past life memory of any kind of earth upheaval. But the weird thing about Atlantis is that my light being could be in a number of bodies at the same time. That's correct. So, in fact, in my memories of Atlantis, I was in 3 bodies at once. And this young woman with her son, when she would die or about to die, was my signal that it was time for me to pull out of that body and be only the light being that I am. Now, in our present life, we are only in one body, and we go in that one body when we're born, and we leave it when we die. In between, I believe when we're sleeping, we often hover near to our body, or any case connected to it. And in fact, it reminds me of a story a girlfriend of mine told me. She was driving on a road and there was black ice. And her car went into a tailspin because she didn't realize there was black ice. There was a dusting of snow over it. So as she was driving too fast, she was going around a curve and the car began to spin. She said she pulled out of her body and watched the whole thing from above, way above, watching the car spin, and waited to see if she would be alive or not. She was alive. She wasn't hurt very badly, and she went right back into her body and continued with the rest of her life, and she's still alive. So I had a similar experience in Atlantis, except that it was only one of 3 bodies that I was in. Now, I wondered, was this an asteroid that I saw coming down at me because it was huge? But fortunately, I belonged to this group that is called the Golden Ones, Atlantis. And it was something that I was told in my hypnosis session to start for people who have memories of Atlantis and who decided in Atlantis. Some of them have memories, some of them don't. Some of them just know that they're golden ones. and I was told in the hypnosis session to gather these people. So the nice thing is we meet monthly, and there was somebody else in that group who has similar memories of that time. And my question was it an asteroid colliding with the Earth? But he said no, it was just rubble. It was just, well, maybe it was, now that I think of it, it seemed there might have been a volcano in the distance or something of that nature. But in any case, it, from his experience, it was not an asteroid. Now, if you have memories of Atlantis and are interested in being with people who also have memories, or have heard from a psychic or in your dreams or your meditations that you're one of the golden ones, just send me an email. The email address is Carol@Chapman Live. And we would all be delighted to see you. Now I'm going to check the chat to see if anybody else has left something, a comment about this. I don't see anything there, but in between my live session, last live session, and today, so in between that week, I received an email from Dawn, and she said, "Hi, Carol." I'm just reading over here on my notes. Favorite remembered experience of Atlantis is how we lived with nature. We did not move nature out of our way to live. We asked, and nature worked with us. Anything we took, we gave back or showed our gratitude. We lived in harmony with the earth. It was a beautiful time and place. Well done. Thank you so much for sending that comment. And you know, I also have memories of that time in Atlantis. Atlantis existed for a long time. And just as I have many past life memories of this time, the reincarnation time of being a human being, I also have many past life memories of Atlantis as well. And I do have a memory of that time. And in fact, I'd like that to be the topic for our next live stream, which is actually, I am going to do an experiment. And the next live stream I'm going to schedule for Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday, which is March 21st. And it's not going to be at 1 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. It's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that's because I've heard from a number of people who find it difficult to attend at 1 in the afternoon because they're working or their kids are up, or for one reason or another, it's difficult for them. However, someone had suggested, why not meet at 8 p.m. in the evening, because that's when they're home from work, they've had their dinner, the kids are in bed, it's a good time for them. So I'm doing an experiment with next week. And so on Tuesday, that's the 21st of March, at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, I'm going to do the agreement with nature in Atlantis. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to do the Thursday at 1 p.m. session. This is something extra on Tuesday. So next week on March 23rd, Thursday, I'm also going to do a YouTube Live. And that one, the working title for that is, Can You Dream About Your Past Lives in Atlantis? I've already talked about dreaming about past lives. What about your memories of Atlantis? Can you dream about them as well? So I'll talk about that on Thursday, March 23rd at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Now, I've also made a community post you might be interested to know. asking the question, what time is best for you? And I have a few suggestions. It's like a survey. So you can vote whether this time is good or that time is good. And if none of the times work for you, you can leave me a comment and say, actually, this time is better for me. So I've enjoyed talking with you today. And if you have questions or comments, please send them to me in an email, carol@carolchapmanlive.com. It's been great talking with you. Toodaloo. Bye-bye.